Hi everyone, very good evening. This is Dr. Apurva Gupta back for another Facebook Live session, and today's topic is also very interesting and extremely useful. It's irregular periods, everything that you would want to know. So let's wait for a few more people to join in, and thank you so much for those who have joined. Thank you so much, all of you who have joined. The live link is going to be generated and will be sent to you very soon, maybe just next few seconds, just in case you want to forward it to a few more people. Yes. So hope you've all had a nice week and looking forward to a nice and bright, happy week. Yeah. Okay. So all of us as women definitely know that. What happens is sometimes or the other in life we've definitely experienced irregular period. The first time when you get your period, we call it menarche, and it lasts till menopause. Once or twice, though we really appreciate the clockwork of human nature, but sometimes people do experience irregular cycles, and so it can be physiological due to some normal reasons. It can have some disease associated with it. So irregular periods is something that a lot of patients had always been saying, doc, we would want to know about it. So by public demand, this is the topic for today. So let's start talking on irregular periods, everything that you would want to know. I would encourage you to ask me as many questions so that you can make most use of the live session today. So before we know what is abnormal or irregular period, first we ought to know what is a normal period or what is a regular period, right? So periods in medical language, they are called menstruation. And how do you define menstruation? So we define menstruation as the cyclical shedding of the endometrium. Endometrium is the inner lining of the uterus. Okay, so it's the cyclical shedding of the endometrium along with some bleeding. That is what we call as a normal menstruation. That's the definition of menstruation. Now, what is a normal period? So, a normal period it's cyclical in nature. That's one. Each woman can have variable days, but roughly we say 3 to 5 weeks cycle is a normal cycle. So, you could be getting your period every 21 days up to you could be getting your period every 35 days. Roughly, doctors call this normal. It can be different for different women. Somebody gets every 28 days, somebody gets every 26 days, somebody gets every 30 days, every 32 days. As long as you're getting them cyclically on your dates, it is absolutely okay. Though the average cycles, most people would get it around 26 to 28 days. Now, how long does the blood flow last? The blood flow lasts for about 3 to 5 days. Though it can range from 2 to 7 days. So some women can have bleeding for as less as 2 days. Some can have bleeding for as long as 7 days. So as you grow up, one knows what is normal for them and what is not normal for them. Now, menstrual cycles may be associated with some discomfort. So sometimes little bit of discomfort, pelvic discomfort, or some premenstrual symptoms like a headache, heaviness of breast, tenderness of breast. A few things can be common here and there. But if there is some excessive discomfort or something, that's a different thing, right? Those things will be dealt with later. Normally, menstrual flow, in one cycle, a woman loses about 60 to 80 ml of blood. You may use roughly 2 to 3 pads daily. And normally, menstrual flow is not associated with passing clots, because what happens is, according to physiology, the clots are formed and they are dissolved before you pass them. So if you're passing clots in your menstrual cycle, that normally means that you actually are bleeding so heavily that the body is not getting time to dissolve those clots. So this is what so now we've understood what a normal period is. So what is an irregular period? Irregular period obviously is a period which you're not getting regularly. So you're not getting according to your cycle. So if you have a 26-day cycle, which lasts for about 3 days, so you're not getting it every 26 days. It's not lasting for 3 days. It's haywire. So now irregular period primarily can be of 3 types. One, most common irregular period is when it's delayed. So sometimes you're not getting it for a month or 2 months, or instead of your 26-day cycle, sometimes you get it at 40 days, sometimes you're getting it at 50 days, sometimes you're not getting it all. So this is one type of irregular period. The other type of irregular period is you're getting it too often, right? So somebody is getting it 20 days, 15 days, 10 days. So that's the other type of irregular period, and it could be lasting differently. And the third type of irregular period, which we call is there is no defined pattern. So it's like some women, you know, they bleed at 12 days and the bleeding is lasting for 10 days. And then there's nothing happening for 15 days. And then again they start bleeding, which is lasting for 3 days. So there's absolutely no pattern that they can understand. So these three types of irregular periods we will be tackling today. Or now it's a very, very huge topic, why somebody gets an irregular period. There can be lots and lots and lots of causes. A lot of gynecology is based on irregular periods. So we'll be just taking an overview of most of the causes, and I'll be telling you some takeaway points so that it becomes very easy for you to identify whether your irregular period is serious, and you also understand why, if you have an irregular period, you must see a gynecologist as soon as possible. Yeah. So now irregular period, though women may freak out thinking of irregular periods, but there are some normal things in life which can lead to irregular periods. So we call them physiological causes, right? So these are causes which are natural in a woman's life, and they can cause an irregular period. So let's see what can they be. The number one cause, let's go age-wise. Okay, so the number one cause can be adolescence. So when a young girl gets periods at 13, 14 or whatever age, or 8, 10, whatever, some girls get it early these days. So as periods go from the body during menopause, they take about a year or two to settle. Similarly, when a girl starts to get periods, her hormones are not tick-tock or, click-clock or from day one. So they take a little time to settle. Her cycles take a little time to settle. So for up to 2 years from the day she's got her first period, we can consider periods irregularity as nearly normal. We do not like to treat young girls for period irregularities at the drop of a hat, because primarily the treatment of these irregularities is hormonal, and we do not want to expose them to hormones at a tender age when it may not be required. So if your adolescent daughter or cousin or anyone is having an irregular periods when she's just started periods, you must visit a gynecologist so that she can rule out any pathological causes, and if there are no pathological causes, her hormones and everything is fine, then just leave her alone, and with time her body will take care of it. The other physiological cause straight away is menopause, right? So when in a woman's life periods are leaving her, that time also there is a perimenopause phase, right? So this is also a physiological time where the cycles, if someone's having cycles every 28 days, she may start getting every 40 days, the flow may become lighter, or sometimes they may be irregular. Gradually the periods would leave her body. So this is another physiological cause of having irregular periods. Another most important cause, it's commonly seen, is postpartum. Like when you've just delivered a baby and you are breastfeeding the baby, then hormones take a while to come back to normal. At that time your periods may be totally irregular, and even the ovulation or the release of the egg is very irregular sometimes. So what happens, it's so erratic that you cannot predict what would be the ovulation time, and many women actually conceive by mistake in that time. So sometimes, after you've had a child, your first bleeding is at 40 days, it lasts for 40 days, and then some women resume cycles very soon, some don't resume for a year. So it just depends on how your body is and how much you're breastfeeding your child. So these were the three important causes. Now, I want to highlight one cause of irregular periods, and that is pregnancy. So this comes as a stark surprise to most patients, because the common notion amongst common public is that if you're getting your periods, you cannot be pregnant. So let's deal with this. It's not that if you're getting your periods, you cannot be pregnant, because sometimes women conceive, and after conceiving, almost at the next period time, they have a little bit of spotting, which we call as implantation bleeding, that can be mistaken very easily for a period, and then you keep thinking you are getting a normal period, but actually you were pregnant. So if any time in life you have a period which is irregular of any type, okay, which is different from your routine period, it was delayed, it came early, it was lesser than what it routinely is, it was more than what it routinely is. So if any time in life you have any kind of irregularity of period, the first test you need to do is a home pregnancy test, because once the pregnancy test is negative, or you should visit a doctor who will rule out pregnancy first. So once your pregnancy test is negative, a whole lot of complications or diagnosis associated with pregnancies can be ruled out. So in irregular periods, various pregnancy complications can occur. Like there could be a tube pregnancy, there could be an unhealthy uterine pregnancy, it could be a very well healthy pregnancy. So a lot of things of this type. So it's a very common notion that if somebody is having bleeding or getting periods, they cannot be pregnant. So one take home message is that's not true. In any any irregularity of period, pregnancy-related diagnosis need to be ruled out. So if next time you visit your doctor and they tell you, oh, you're having irregular periods, let's run a preg check. So please happily agree for it. Yes, preg check is required, right? How much ever surprised you may be, but yes, it's very much. So we have tackled 4 normal physiological causes of irregular periods: adolescent, menopause, lactation, and also pregnancy. Correct? So now let's come to the pathological causes. So if you are getting irregular periods, could there actually be something wrong in your body? And if it could be, what could it be? So there are a whole list of things that could lead to irregular periods. Let's go one by one. So the first thing I would like to talk about is hormonal. So obviously periods are related to a hormonal milieu which is created in your body. These hormones have various sources. There is a pituitary gland in your brain. There is a thyroid gland in your neck. There are your peripheral tissues, your fat, your ovarian hormones. So hormones are created. They have different sources in the body and together they form a hormonal milieu. To this hormonal milieu, your ovaries respond by releasing an egg, and this egg, if you get pregnant, then this egg goes to the uterus and it becomes the embryo, and it goes to the uterus and gets implanted. And if you don't get pregnant in that cycle, the uterus gets to know that there has been no pregnancy and it sheds the endometrium or the lining of the uterus, which causes your period. So roughly this is how you get your normal period. So obviously if you're not getting your period normally, there could very well be something wrong with the hormones. So hormonal tests are one of the most important that one runs with irregular periods. So there are a few hormones I would just name, like an FSH or LH or prolactin. So these are hormones which are released from the pituitary, and they can cause menstrual disturbances. The most common hormone that every one of us has heard of is the thyroid hormone. Yeah, so North India is a belt which is little prone to hypothyroidism. So hypothyroidism is a very, very common cause of irregular periods. So I think this is something that most people also know. If they have irregular periods, the first thing to say is, doctor, would you please check our thyroid? Yeah. So apart from thyroid, there are also other hormones which can be involved. So the other disorder, which is also very, very commonplace these days, is a polycystic ovarian disease, or we call it as PCOD. So it has got 2 terminologies, PCOD and PCOS. We won't get into the technicalities today. We'll do that in some lecture on PCOS. But today PCOD, for our understanding, is a hormonal disorder which is associated with 3 primary symptoms: a hyperandrogenism, means like male-like distribution of hair or stronger upper lips or whatever; oligoovulation, which means the ovulation is not happening regularly or it's happening lesser; and polycystic ovaries on ultrasound appearance. Okay, so now PCOD has a lot of hormones involved in it. It's got the insulin hormone, it's got the FSH, it's got the LH, sometimes prolactin is raised. And what happens primarily in PCOD is the ovaries become bulkier and they do not release the egg on time. It's an anovulatory or oligoovulatory state. So if the egg is not released, the uterus gets confused that the egg hasn't come in. Now what am I supposed to do? And the cycle is kind of, the cycle changes, the organs are confused and one doesn't get periods. Now PCOD is a very, very, very common cause of irregular periods. Mostly PCO patients would have delayed periods rather than early periods. But some PCO patients can have early periods also. Most PCO patients would be obese, but we also get to see lean PCOs. And PCO patients would have sometimes a hoarser voice or a little more, they would be hairier on their body. They would complain of having facial hair. So these are few things characteristics by which we can pick up a PCO also. So the other also causes that can be now some other causes of irregular periods. Some infections can lead to irregular periods. So if you have a chronic cervix infection, cervix is the mouth of the uterus. So what happens is each time, sometimes the infected tissue which becomes fragile, it starts to bleed irregularly. And that is actually bleeding from the cervix, and that can be mistaken as period by the woman. So she may come and say that, doctor, I'm having irregular periods, I get my normal periods and then I have spotting, so I'm unable to make out. So there are some local causes like infection. Sometimes infection inside the uterus can also lead to, premenstrual spotting or more spotting, and you get confused as to when I actually got my period. Another important cause is displaced IUCD. So a lot of us go for copper T insertions or Mirena insertions, and suppose it gets displaced, which sometimes it does get, rarely though, but it sometimes does get displaced. So instead of being in the body of the uterus, it may slide down somewhere. So then it's not able to produce the reaction in the uterus which it's normally supposed to produce. As a result of which, many women would just come with an irregular period or a prolonged period, wherein there's constant spotting. Sometimes you get your normal period and throughout the cycle you're spotting. So these are also causes of an irregular period. Also, I would like to tell, so there is one cause called Mirena. Now, Mirena is a progesterone-loaded IUCD. So often women have to go in for a Mirena for either contraception or some period issues. So when a Mirena is inserted in your body, there is a settling period of roughly 100 days, which patients find a little difficult to digest. So it's very important to counsel the patients regarding it. So for 100 days, you may either have spotting or nothing, or sometimes bleeding. So that can also be, sometimes deemed as a cause of irregular period, though it comes in the category of IUCDs. Sometimes there may be polyps. Okay, so polyps are like small furuncles or small growths. Okay, so they can be polyps on the cervix, they can be polyps inside the uterus, and these can lead to irregular bleeding patterns. So one gets their normal period, either the normal period is heavy or you keep on having constant spotting. So you're wondering what's happening. So polyps is also a very, very important cause of irregular periods. So are fibroids. Okay, so fibroids are aggregation of uterine muscle. So they are like overly pattern of uterine muscles. You can have single fibroids, you can have multiple fibroids, and fibroids are of three types. So one type of fibroid is one which is outside the cavity of the uterus. The second type of fibroid is which is within the wall of the uterus, and the third type of fibroid is which is in the wall but it projects into the cavity of the uterus. So it's primarily the third type of fibroid which is projecting into the cavity of the uterus which is likely to produce period related abnormalities in women. In such cases, normally women would report with heavier periods or no pattern of periods wherein they just keep on bleeding for 10-15 days. And it's very important to check also hemoglobin of such women because they can drastically lose out on their body iron if they have these kind of conditions. Very common cause of irregular periods these days is altered circadian rhythm. So, what happens is when you change your time zones, a lot of women work overseas these days and they constantly travel. So you're in India, then you go to US, and you go to Germany, and you come back. So the body is very confused about the day and night cycle. And there are a lot of hormones in the body which are released according to the day and night, according to your sleep, and they're released in pulsatile fashions. So if you're changing your time zones very often, this has become a modern day cause of irregular periods. Because the circadian rhythm of the body gets altered. Air hostesses see this kind of problem very, very often, and also women who work overseas and travel very often, because once you travel to a place and you settle there for a longer time, your body gets used to. But it's only when you are frequently traveling, this has become a very important cause of irregular periods. Consumption of certain medicines can lead to irregular periods. Now, what happens is, suppose you're on a contraceptive pill, right? And you're not taking it regularly. You tend to miss like 1 or 2 doses. So even missing very little doses of contraceptive pills can cause irregular periods. And often women wouldn't come out with the history openly because they would say, no, doctor, I've been very regular with my pills. And then when we probe too much, we do get to know that a few pills were missed here and there. This can also happen not just with contraceptive pills. It can also happen with any hormonal pills, even if they are just progesterone pills, or you've taken pills to delay your cycles for whatever reasons, for travel or whatever. So if you don't take those pills regularly, it can happen. Consumption of certain other medicines, like some certain psychiatric medicines, can also lead to irregular periods. There is a whole list of medicines which we need to rule out if a woman is presenting with irregular periods. So when you visit your gynecologist, she'll be asking you a few questions on, are you on any XYZ of these medicines. Okay, if you've changed your exercise patterns, so sometimes we tend to over exercise, and if there is a sudden heavy exercise that you've started to do, you can have an irregular period. If you have suddenly left your exercise schedule, also you can have an irregular period. Crash dieting regimes these days, a lot of women go on crash dieting regimes. They definitely, I've seen many a times, they lead to irregular periods in the body. If there is sudden weight gain, there is sudden waist loss, that can also lead to irregular periods. And needless to say, Stress comes in here also. So stress, emotional anxiety is a very, very I would say a highly rated cause of irregular periods. It's a very, very common cause of irregular periods. So, stress from within, last time also I spoke about it. You can roughly imagine that your hormone center, your stress center, and your emotion center are placed very close in the brain together. So, if you're stressed out and if you're upset about something, then the hormones get affected very easily. So, many a times, stress, anxiety can manifest as irregular periods. It's very, very, very common. Another cause of irregular periods, which is a little sinister, is existence of any genital cancer. Right. So if someone's having a cervical cancer, then they can have irregular periods. They might sometimes present as irregular periods. It's actually bleeding from the cervix, which is mistaken as irregular periods because period is technically coming from within the uterus. But this can also be, or somebody could have a uterine cancer. So, they would be bleeding differently. So, sometimes even ovarian cancer. So, genital cancers need to be ruled out if somebody is presenting with irregular periods. Also, existence of any form of chronic disease. So somebody could be a chronic diabetic, a chronic hypertensive, or a chronic pancreatitis. So existence of any form of chronic disease. Chronic is a long-term disease, which could be a systemic disease in your body. So existence of any systemic disease in the body can lead to period abnormalities. So we've kind of roughly told you about the various causes of irregular periods. There are a few more rare causes of irregular periods. We shall not get into them right now, but generally I hope most of us so irregular periods, as I said, let's just sum up the causes. So irregular periods could be delayed periods or periods which are less often. Irregular periods could be periods which are coming more often, or irregular periods could be periods which are not following any pattern at all. Depending on what kind of irregular period you are presenting to us with, there is a set of causes that we should discuss. Now, suppose you have an irregular period. What should you do? So, obviously, you should consult us if you have an irregular period, right? So, why should you first go to a doctor? Many women have a tendency to wait and, watch, which could be fine for a few days, like a week or so, or maybe 10 days. But beyond that, I always suggest you should see a doctor because a doctor's eye can see much more beyond a normal person's eye could. So once you come to us, we observe your looks, we ask you so many questions related, what kind of irregular period do you have, when did you last get it, how much did you spot, how many children do you have, are you sexually active, and various details of your medicine. So that gives us an idea on what could be the cause of your irregular period. Also, we can examine you and notice whether you're obese, do you have any facial distribution of hair, and then we run in. So the history itself gives us a good deal of idea about what could be the cause of this irregular period. Then when we run an examination on you, first we do a general examination, we take your BMI, we also do a breast examination, right? So sometimes discharge from the breast can be a sign of alteration of a hormone called prolactin, which can cause irregular periods. So breast examination has an important role in someone who's presenting with irregular periods. Then we have a gynecological examination where we do a per abdomen, we look at your abdomen, and then we do, if you allow us, we do a speculum and a vaginal examination. We see how your cervix is looking. If required, we take a pap smear. And then we do a vaginal examination with our fingers. We feel the size of the uterus and whether you've got any pain, whether we can feel any cysts. So a lot of things that can come to light once you visit a doctor and get yourself examined, right? So now once your history and general examination and gynecological examinations is done, then your doctor would decide on which would be the right investigations which you need to do. Now, not all patients need all investigations, but many a times you would need a pregnancy test, which could be a urine test or a blood test. You would, most women presenting with irregular periods would need some or the other kind of hormonal test. It could be your pituitary hormones, FSH, LH, they could be prolactin, it could be a thyroid hormone check. So most women presenting with irregular periods would normally need some or the other kind of hormonal tests. One may also need an ultrasound to look for existence of any polyps or any fibroids or PCOD or any other kind of cysts which can cause spotting or an irregular period. One may also need a general blood checkup, like we might want to do your hemoglobin test and your coagulation test, because some women may have a bleeding tendency, which leads to a heavier period and an irregular period. Also, we want to know if someone has bled heavily. We want to know what is their hemoglobin status, because if the hemoglobin is low, it gives us an insight into how heavily a woman could have bled and how urgently it needs to be treated and how intensively it needs to be treated too. So, a certain blood test, and if your doctor is suspecting any chronic disease, she'll prescribe tests accordingly. Sometimes then one may need an endometrial biopsy, which we call, some of you may know it as a DNC. These days we can do it as an OPD procedure also. Some of you may need a hysteroscopy. If there's a polyp, it would need to be removed. So there is a whole lot of things, an algorithm which is too long to follow. So this is all tailor-made and individualized according to your presenting complaints, your examination findings, your investigation findings, and treatment of, obviously. So how do you treat an irregular period? So there is, I would say, a three-pronged approach for treating an irregular period. One, you treat the general condition of the patient. Second, the aim is to correct the cycles. And third, and most important, is that you treat the cause, right? So how do you treat the general condition of the patient? If she's anemic, you treat her anemia. If she's obese, you advise her on exercise and weight loss. So this is how you treat the general factors which could be contributing to an irregular period or which could be the cause of irregular period. The second aim is to regularize her cycles, which primarily happens by hormones. And the third and the most important thing is to treat the cause. So if somebody has a fibroid, it has to be decided whether it's going to be a medical management or a surgical management. If there is a polyp, it more or less needs to be removed. Also, one must go in for a regular pap smear check so that cervical causes of an irregular period can be picked up in time, or cancerous causes or precancerous causes can be picked up in time. And whatever the cause is, the cause would be corrected. So if you have a PCOD, you would be given certain hormones and maybe insulin resistant drugs and all those things. So depending on the so many causes that I explained to you earlier, whatever is the cause, that needs to be treated. And apart from the cause, to regularize your cycles, many a times your doctor would prescribe some or the other kind of hormonal pills. So now hormonal pills are primarily of two types. One is only the progesterone containing pills, and the other are the estrogen and progesterone containing pills both, right? So these are the two important hormones of a woman's body, the estrogen and the progesterone. So the estrogen progesterone containing pills are what we commonly know as the contraceptive pills. To name a few, in the previous generation we had the Maladi types, and now we have Novolon, Femilon. Most of them heard of these pills, but which pill is right for you depends on what condition you are presenting with, what is your diagnosis, what is your age, and obviously what is the need of your body. So sometimes we need to give combined contraceptive pills. Sometimes you may be given only progesterone pills, and they also have different regimens. You may be given from day 5 to 25, from day 16 to 25, from day 10. So depending on what's right for you, you will be prescribed. Sometimes you may not respond to just a progesterone pill. Then your doctor may decide to give you a combined contraceptive pill. PCO patients normally go on a combined contraceptive pill. Along with that, they go for some insulin sensitizers. So that's it. So overall, I think I've covered most of the topics which can cause an irregular period. That's it. So primarily, the take-home messages are few. One is any irregular period could be related to pregnancy, could be related to any other hormonal disorders, could be related to any anatomical problem in your body, which could be like an organic cause like a fibroid or polyp, could be related to general factors like stress, anxiety, weight loss, exercise, etc. Could be related to sinister diagnosis like any form of genital cancers. Misuse of medicines is a very, very common cause of irregular periods. Misuse I would say misuse of any type of contraceptive method like an IUCD, it could get displaced, or irregular consumption of contraceptive pills, or any of this could also lead to irregular periods. So some causes are more common than the others. So obviously first the commoner causes are ruled out and treated, and once each cause gets ruled out, then one goes to the rarer causes of irregular periods. So I also see a few questions which I would love to take in the order probably that they are appearing in. Let me just scroll through and okay. So someone's asking, when should we seek doctor's advice on irregular period? It's a very relevant question. As I said, some women tend to wait because they feel, okay, it might just be an irregular period. Let's wait and watch, which is fair enough. I feel that if you miss one cycle, then till that it's okay. But if you're also missing the next cycle, you must see your doctor. If you're having a very heavy period which is just not stopping, it's prolonged, then you should see a doctor. So overall, I say you can wait for about half a cycle more or max to max one cycle more, and then you must see your doctor as soon as possible, because at least let your doctor figure out that there's nothing wrong with you. And if there's something, sometimes the cause is so small that by little medicine also, it just, you tend to be fine and do well. So the other question is irregular period also a sign of early menopause? Okay, so it can be a sign of early menopause. It's not necessarily a sign of early menopause. So sometimes in the perimenopausal period, women may have a little bit of prolonged cycle, like a delayed cycle, or sometimes they would get an early cycle, or in short, an irregularity of period, yes, is one of the commoner symptoms of perimenopause approaching or menopause approaching. So if you see the doctor, we have a few blood tests that we can run, and they can probably tell us whether you are near menopause, and ultrasound can also give us an idea. So this can be taken care of, and yes, irregular period is an important sign sometimes of perimenopause. Someone is saying that they had regular periods with problems like acidity, headaches, nausea, and then they had delayed periods. Okay, fine. So I think this needs a little bit of personal consultation. So maybe you can call me, and then we can discuss about this, because I need to ask a few more questions about what kind of your period has been before, and what kind of, was this the isolated event of your delayed period. So I think we can discuss this. There can be a whole lot of causes, so we need to throw light on that. And okay. So someone is saying, at the age of 48, is my irregular period due to menopause? So we cannot confirm and say that it's due to menopause unless we have run the other tests, ruled out organic causes, ruled out hormonal causes, and also done the menopause test, which can probably tell us. So it could be because you're approaching menopause, but we are not sure. And since we are talking about menopause, one more thing I would want to say is that when you are nearing menopause, often women would skip 3-4 cycles and then the period would appear. So if you've skipped, not technically, menopause is when you don't get period for 12 months. Suppose you are not getting period for 12 months, and then if you have a spotting or bleeding, you must immediately see the doctor, because that does not qualify as irregular period. It qualifies as post-menopausal bleeding, wherein you've had menopause for a year and then you've had bleeding. It immediately needs to be looked into. That's one symptom that you absolutely should not take lightly. I always tell patients that if you've not bled for 6 months in your menopause, and after 6 months if you had spotting or bleeding, it's always advisable to just see your doctor. Let her do her routine checks. If everything is fine, she'll tell you if it looks like it's due to perimenopause, and you can have a good night's sleep. But don't just assume it's because of perimenopause and leave it alone. Yeah. Is there any medication to be taken when menopause sets in? So yeah, it depends on what kind of symptoms one is experiencing at the time of menopause. But generally at the time of menopause, it's a very good idea to keep calcium and vitamin D supplementation up to the optimum. Sometimes we also like to give patients certain B complexes, and there are certain specific medicines which contain hormones and those nutrients which perimenopausal or a menopausal woman needs more than she would need at other times in her life. So these supplements are just given routinely, but if someone's facing any specific problem of menopause, like hot flushes or any other issues, then they have to be tackled according to their symptom and whatever the pathology exists. Yeah. Okay, so is irregular period common in PCOS? So absolutely, irregular period is one of the top symptoms of PCOS, along with the other symptoms like I said, different hair distribution and all those. So irregular cycles is one of the most common symptoms of PCOS. Mostly PCOS patients would present with delayed cycles, so they skip cycles. Either they get it 40 days or once in 2 months or 3 months. Sometimes, depending on your grade of PCOS, some would get periods only after taking medicines and only withdrawal bleeding. So depending on your type of PCOS and the severity of PCOS, you would present with different kinds of cycles in PCOS. Yes, irregular symptoms is common in PCOS. Okay. So what is the normal age of menopause? So now the age of menopause is kind of advancing a little bit. Earlier we used to consider 48 to 50, but now the average age of menopause is somewhere up to 53 years of age. We see women up to 55 also having regular and normal periods. So the age of menopause has got a little advanced above 50 now. So that is now deemed as a new normal age of menopause. So as of now, I don't see any other questions. I hope I've tackled most of them, and this session has been useful for you. And thank you so much for joining my session. And next time I shall come up with whatever is the next on public demand. Okay, bye bye. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.